الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. قال الله تعالى في التنزيل العزيز بعد أقول أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes Ramadan as أيام معدودات in the Quran, limited numbered days. This description should create for us a sense of urgency. A sense of urgency to take advantage of these days. These blessed days are not here forever. They're here for a short period of time. For us, it is paramount that we take advantage of them. But also it gives us the opportunity to regroup. Because ayyam ma'adudat also means something that is longer. It's not just short. It has this time. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So that gives us a bit of a chance to regroup in the middle of Ramadan. It gives us a chance to recover after perhaps we have slacked off a little bit. It gives us a chance to get re-energized after losing our energy and losing steam that perhaps that we had in the beginning of Ramadan. That is the way Ramadan is. That is something that we see in practice. If you see the masjid, there is a lot of energy in the mosque on the first night of Ramadan. There is a buzz you can feel in the air, and then it slowly tapers off. And that's okay, that happens, that's natural. You look at the description the Prophet ﷺ gave to Ramadan. He said, إِذَا كَانَ أَوَّلُ لَيْلَةٍ مِنْ شَهْرِ رَمَضَانِ صُفِّدَتِ الشَّيَاطِينُ وَمَرَضَتِ الْجِنِّ وَغُلِّقَتْ أَبْوَابُ النَّارِ فَلَمْ يُفْتَحْ مِنْهَا بَابٌ. He says, ﷺ, that when it is the first night of Ramadan, the shayateen, the major devils, are chained, the gates of hellfire are shut, and the gates of paradise are opened. The idea being that the incentive to do good is more, the desire to do good is more, the opportunity to do good is more ample. All those things are there. But interestingly note, the Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا كَانَ أَوَّلُ لَيْلَةٍ مِنْ شَهْرِ رَمَضَانَ. And it's the first night of Ramadan. Because it's the first night, there is that energy. Because it's the first time it happened, or in the year, there is this extra buzz. And then it tapers off a little bit. So Ramadan gives us that opportunity to start that high, and then maybe we come back, and then gives us the chance to regroup again. That is the beautiful aspect of Ramadan. This energy fades until it's the last 10 nights and the last 10 days of Ramadan. This, my brothers and sisters, is the opportunity to become re-energized, to become re-engaged, to become refocused, to truly make this month count. This right now, the last 10 nights and the last 10 days, is that opportunity for us. If you look at what the Prophet ﷺ said, or rather how he's described about these last 10 nights, he's described by his wife Aisha as كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يجتهد في العشر الأواخر ما لا يجتهد في غيره. He used to strive and work hard in the last 10 nights of Ramadan more than what he would do in other times of Ramadan. Okay? And she also said, when the last 10 nights would come, إذا دخل العشر شد مئزره وأحيا ليله وأيقظ أهله. When it was the last 10 nights, the Prophet ﷺ would fasten his belt, tighten his belt. The idea being that he is gearing up, but also the idea is that he is now focusing on his worship, not his interactions with his family. Interactions being like being intimate with his wife, for example. He's focusing on worship, not intimacy in this time. وَأَحْيَا لَيْلَهُ. He is giving his nights, he's bringing them to life. And he would wake up his family. That's the description that Aisha gives us. So you look at this and you see right away that the Prophet ﷺ had extra energy and extra focus in the last 10 nights. He did. He is someone who was always excellent in his worship. Excellence par none. But he, despite all of the goodness that he had, still stepped it up into the next higher level when it came to the last 10 nights. Because that, brothers and sisters, is his opportunity. The last 10 nights is that chance for us to really step it up. He would bring he was bringing the night to life. What does that mean? Ahya laylahu. He would bring the night to life through his worship, through his prayers, through his supplications. That's how he would bring the night to life. He would wake up his family to participate in worship. So it wasn't just something that he's doing himself. He wants his whole family to benefit and grow with him spiritually. SubhanAllah, this is something for us to think about. How is it that we can, in our masajid, in our institutes, how can we make it feasible and easy for our sisters to come and participate in these beautiful times? The Prophet ﷺ allowed women to do i'tikaf in his masjid, in the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ. So the whole family is worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala together. The whole family is growing together spiritually. The family that prays together stays together. So he ﷺ would make that a point. It wasn't just every man for himself. He wanted everybody to be raised up and to elevate their game in this last 10 nights. So as we're about to enter the last 10 nights of Ramadan, brothers and sisters, let us regroup and work hard. Work hard, not in the dunya sense. We work hard for our careers, we work hard at school, we work hard for whatever it is that we like to achieve. But here, working hard is referring specifically to our acts of worship. worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and committing and devoting ourselves to that worship in these last 10 nights. That is something that we should focus on. This is something that's unique. If a person has done good, they've done well up to this point, this is an opportunity to build on that momentum. Like the Prophet ﷺ, okay? He would be doing good all the time. كَانَ أَجْوَدَ النَّاسِ بِالْخَيْرِ, the most generous person. In Ramadan, the last 10 nights, وَأَجْوَدُ مَا يَكُونَ, even more generous, even better, stepping it up even more. كَانَ يَجْتَهِدُ فِي الْعَشْرِ الْأَوَاخِرِ مَا لَا يَجْتَهِدُ فِي غَيْرِهِ, even working harder than he was than other parts of Ramadan. Now, if we are someone who's done a little bit of good, attended some Taraweeh here and there, did some good stuff here, did some good stuff there, this is a chance for us to make this month whole. It's a chance for us to really take the blessings of the last 10 nights and fill in all the gaps that we have left. If you're a person who has done nothing, not even the mandatory fasting, even if that is a situation, even for that person, the opportunity for redemption is in these last 10 nights. Now, we don't condone that behavior. We don't condone the behavior of somebody not fasting when that's an obligation. I'm not speaking particularly about people who are exempted from fasting. Of course, they don't have to fast if they're exempted. But I'm talking about people who are not exempted and are not doing it by choice. That's not a behavior we condone. But even if a person is in that situation, what I like to say is the last 10 nights present an opportunity for redemption. To really make it all worth it. To really bring it all together again. If you look at what the Prophet ﷺ says about the last 10 nights, he says, "Man sama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbihi. Wa man qama laylatal qadri imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbihi." This is a hadith that both Imam Bukhari and Muslim have narrated. He says, alayhi salatu wasalam, that the person who fasts in Ramadan out of faith, imanan, and out of seeking reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ihtisaban, looking for the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with iman and with the right attitude, this person, their sins are completely forgiven in Ramadan because of the fast. The only sins that are left are sins where a person has hurt a person, harmed an individual. They owe them something, monetary reparations. Those have to be given. Those apologies have to be made. Fasting Ramadan does not just paper over those cracks. But outside of those, everything else is forgiven. Everything that's between a person and their Lord is gone. Then the Prophet says the exact same thing about what? About Laylatul Qadr. Man qama Laylatul Qadri imanan wa ihtisaban. The one who stands up and prays and catches the night of power. That person, out of conviction and with the right attitude, for that person, also their sins are forgiven. The point being here, the subtlety that some of the scholars point out here is, even if a person didn't really make anything out of Ramadan, even if they ended up missing the fast, which is again not a behavior we condone, Laylatul Qadr presents the opportunity for redemption. Because the Prophet ﷺ says exactly what he said about Ramadan, just about Laylatul Qadr. That you do this with iman and the right attitude, and that is a fresh start. That is a clean slate. That is sins forgiven. That is redemption. That, brothers and sisters, is how we have to see the last 10 nights as an opportunity for us to redeem ourselves. And it doesn't matter what we are, what we've done, none of that matters. This is the time for all of us. Laylatul Qadr falls in these last 10 nights. And for us, that's the focus now. Going into this, catching those last 10 nights, catching Laylatul Qadr and doing acts of worship, devoting ourselves and working hard in doing so. With Iman and with the right attitude. Those two qualifiers have to be there. Iman and wahtisaban. If you look at what the scholars of hadith say, the ones who explain a hadith, like Imam Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, he says that al-muradu bil-iman al-i'tiqad bi fardiyati sawmihi wa bil-ihtisab talabu thawabi min Allah. He says Iman means you are doing this because you believe this is a binding obligation. And ihtisab means you are doing this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeking His reward, the right attitude. Al-Khattabi says about the ihtisab, he says أي عزيمة وهو أن يصومه على معنى الرغبة في ثوابه طيبة نفسه بذلك غير مستثقل لصيامه ولا مستطيل لأيامه. He says, Al-Khattabi, that a person who is fasting with the right attitude, what that looks like is there is this strength and this conviction. Meaning, the person is fasting, seeking the reward of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, طَيِّبَةً نَفْسَهُ, feeling good about themselves, happily doing it, not being dragged through it, not being dragged through Ramadan, not being dragged through the last 10 nights. They're doing it happily, by choice. غَيْرَ مُسْتَثْقِلٍ لِصِيَامِهِ, not saying, oh, this is very difficult, these fasts are very difficult. وَلَا مُسْتَطِيلًا لِأَيَامِهِ, oh, these are very long days, a very long month. No, it is hard, we accept. It is long, no doubt about it. But the attitude is, Alhamdulillah, Allah has made it easy. Alhamdulillah, it's blessings. Alhamdulillah, this is an opportunity for redemption. This is a good chance. It's for my own good. That's the attitude. So when a person has that attitude, and with that attitude they fast, their sins are forgiven. And if they didn't do much in Ramadan, in the fasting or any other good work acts, with that attitude, if they look for Laylatul Qadr and they catch Laylatul Qadr, their sins are forgiven again. The redemption comes in this month. But we have to have the right attitude for our brothers and sisters. And we have to commit ourselves to it. That is what we have in front of us in these last few days of Ramadan. The last 10 nights of Ramadan. I have some recommendations of what we should do in these last 10 nights. How to make these last 10 nights worth it. Inshallah, I'll speak about that in the next khutbah. قُلْ مَا تَسْمَعُونَ وَاسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهِ وَاسْتَغْفِرُوا إِنَّهُ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa la amma ba'd. The Prophet ﷺ said in a narration that أَحَبُّ الْأَعْمَالِ إِلَى اللَّهِ أَدْوَمُهَا وَإِنْ قَلُّ. The most beloved acts to Allah, the dearest actions to Allah are the ones that are consistent, even if they're less. Consistency is more valuable in the eyes of Allah than sporadic actions. Quality matters more than quantity. That is what the Prophet ﷺ is telling us. So we take this hadith and try to implement this and try to figure out how is it that we can get these last 10 nights, how is it that we can really make it worth it? How is it that we can try to tie all our loose ends and fill all the gaps that we've left? So I have 3 recommendations for all of us. Recommendation number 1 is to pray the Isha prayer and the Fajr prayer in the masjid. That's my first recommendation. Why is this? For a variety of reasons. Firstly, the Prophet ﷺ told us that the person who comes to the mosque, the person who is coming to the mosque to participate in the congregational prayer, for every step they take, for every unit of travel that they are putting towards their journey to the mosque, they get one good deed. and they lose one bad deed. And a level in paradise, they're raised. For every unit of travel, because footstep, can you imagine if you live 5 kilometers from the mosque, how many footsteps is that? That's thousands. Just coming here are thousands of good deeds and thousands of sins forgiven. Then when a person comes here and they end up coming here and salah hasn't begun yet, it's still time before salah. The person who's waiting for salah, كَأَنَّهُ فِي الصَّلَاةِ, it's as if that person is praying. So the entire time they're just sitting and waiting for the prayer, they get the reward of as if they're praying. Then, after they finish or as they pray, the reward of the prayer in the jama'ah, in the congregation, is 27 times more than the reward of an individual prayer prayed at home. 27 is not an arbitrary number. It's not hyperbole. It's not like hundreds or thousands. It's an actual number, 27. Meaning a person who prays 27 ishas at home will have the same reward as the person who prays 1 isha in the masjid. 27 ishas, that's 4 weeks worth of work. SubhanAllah. Compare that to 1. That is the incentive. Once the salah is done, the person is sitting, they're remembering Allah, they're still in a state of wudu. The angels are praying for that person, for their forgiveness. Every moment they're sitting and in their place remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once they get up from their salah and they greet their brother or they greet their sister and they shake hands, as they're shaking hands, the sins are falling. They're shedding like the shedding of the leaves. All these are ahadith of the Prophet ﷺ describing the virtues and the incentives to pray in the congregation. And then for Isha and for Fajr, on top of all of that is an additional half night of reward. Half a night of standing up and praying. The reward of that is just by merely praying Isha. The other half of that reward is just by merely praying Fajr in the congregation. Imagine if a person has this habit in their life. They're praying Fajr and they're praying Isha in the masjid, and that's what they do. And then imagine this person meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the Day of Judgment. And for all their life, they have brought a whole lifetime worth of Qiyamul Layl. A whole lifetime worth of night prayer. That's what they have brought to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just by mere virtue of praying Isha and Fajr in the masjid. That's the incentive. I know for some of the brothers it's tough right now to pray Isha, the playoffs are on. But I would encourage you not to get distracted by that. I encourage you to come for Isha, irrespective of what's there. Because the rewards are so great, and the incentives are so great, and the opportunity, brothers and sisters, the opportunity cannot be missed. Especially in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. So that is my first recommendation. Make that happen. It doesn't matter how busy a person is, how free they are, just doing this will guarantee you a whole night of prayer. The reward of standing up and praying the whole night, guaranteed just by praying these 2 prayers. That's an unbelievable incentive that the Prophet gave us. That's my first recommendation. Make that happen every single night. Recommendation number 2 is make sure to give some charity every single night of the last 10 nights. If you were to do so, starting Saturday night is the night of, this is the first night of the last 10 nights, the 21st night, okay? Starting Saturday night, if a person gives $10 every single night, you drop it in the mosque box, you give it online to some charity, you are guaranteed to have given charity on the night of power. You are guaranteed, because you are giving it on every single night. And that charity, that consistency is beloved to Allah, and that charity on the night of power is, the reward of it is so strong, it's as if 1,000 months of worship. So it's an incredible opportunity. Very simple things. The Prophet ﷺ would do this. He was already extremely generous. In Ramadan he would be even more generous. كَالرِّيحِ الْمُرْسَلَةِ, like a blowing wind, bringing relief to everybody. bringing relief to people quickly. That was what the effect of fasting in Quran, that's the effect that it had on him sallallahu alaihi wasallam, making him more generous and more helpful to people. So as we're worshipping Allah in the last 10 nights, we can't forget about our generosity and our support for our brothers and sisters and for our institutions. The third recommendation is to make a lot of dua, to make a lot of supplication. And supplication and dua particularly that comes from the heart. Supplication and dua that's actually meaningful. What I encourage you is one of two things. Or you can do both as well if you want. Either you take a book of du'as like Hisnul Muslim or something that's published that collects the supplications of the Prophet ﷺ, and you read those supplications and you ask Allah for what the Prophet ﷺ has asked for. That's one beautiful way of going about it. Another beautiful way of going about it is you write down. You write down for yourself, what is it that I need in my life? What is it that I want in my life? What ails me? What do I need help in? Where is it, what relationships do I need rectified? Every single thing that's in our hearts that we will want, we write it down. Don't share this on Facebook. This is for you. And then after this, you make dua to Allah for that. You say, oh Allah, I need this, give this to me. Oh Allah, I want this. If this is good for me, give it to me. Oh Allah, I am in trouble with this. Help me get out of it. Help me get through it. That dua, brothers and sisters, that's the dua that's meaningful. Allah, the Prophet said, "Inna Allah la yastajibu da'wata qalbin lahin ghafil." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not respond to the dua of the person who's distracted, the person who's not paying attention. That dua is not answered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning the dua where the person is focused and attentive and it's meaningful, that's the one that's answered. That's the one that's answered. And that's what we need to do in these last 10 nights. Aisha radiallahu anha, when she asked the Prophet ﷺ, O Prophet of Allah, if I knew when it is Laylatul Qadr, ماذا أقول فيها? What do I say in it? She already knew it's time for dua. This is the time for dua. She just wanted a recommendation from the Prophet ﷺ. So for us, brothers and sisters, this is that golden opportunity. For us, doesn't matter whether we've done good or bad, doesn't matter if we've done a lot or little. These last 10 nights are our shot at redemption. To make this month matter, to give us a clean slate of forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to give us a fresh start. This is that time. These are the opportunities. We can't squander them. And those recommendations that I made are small but consistent actions. And they will get us the max reward, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the ability to catch Laylatul Qadr. We ask Allah to give us the ability to pray Isha and Fajr in the masjid. We ask Allah to give us the ability to make sadaqah, and He accepts our sadaqah. We ask Allah the ability to make dua from our hearts. And we ask Allah to accept our du'as. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد في الأولين وصل على محمد في الآخرين وصل على محمد في الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين اللهم أحينا على سنته ومتنا على ملته واحشرنا في زمرته واسقنا من حوضه يا رب العالمين اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وقيموا الصلاة.
الله أكبر.